is Bethany Gazinski, and my trauma technique is going to be on gardening slash taking care of plants. It's probably the only thing that rivals my passion for trauma itself. So this can be fantastic for just kind of slowing you down and reconnecting you with nature. A lot of us can't really go out all the time and spend the time in nature that we as humans really need. So I love the idea that you can just have like a plant. It doesn't have to be this big. This is the plant I'm going to be working with today. It doesn't have to be this big. It can be something really small that you look at and just water every once in a while. It can be, a bush that you have in your yard that you go out and look at. It can really be any plant, big or small, where you really just have to slow down and take the time to focus on it and say, okay, so what do you need? That's really the question that we're going to be asking ourselves. And it's also a great time to reflect on yourself and think, like, what do I need? So I know that if I'm not paying as much attention to my plants, I'm probably really busy. So I need to slow down a little bit, right? And take some of those deep breaths for myself and actually get out and do something that I enjoy this much to kind of get myself regulated. So it's a great tool to make you really slow down and pay attention to something that depends on you to survive. That's not like screaming at you all the time like a child or a dog or anything. And to really inspect it and see what it needs. And it's a great time to reflect on what you might need yourself as you're kind of letting your thoughts drift as you're looking at your plant. So without further ado, what I do when I look at my plants is first I make sure that they have been watered. This one has not. You can kind of see that it's fragile right now. It's crackling a little bit. I'm feeling the soil and it's pretty dry. And this one likes to be watered, especially since it's an outdoor plant. It likes to be watered a bit more than those indoor plants. So I'm just going to take my watering can. I'm just going to slowly give it some water so that it doesn't overflow. I want to put enough in there that it's moisturized, but not enough so that it's not overflowing everywhere. If it does, that's okay. It definitely happens, but we want to make sure that we're taking care of our plant in a way that's not going to give us too much of a headache later, although messes are okay. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of that, and I am spilling, so I'll clean that up later. That's okay. So now, pruning. Pruning is extremely important for plants, and this is where I get to really look around and see some of this dead stuff. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like that one and this one. Stuff that probably isn't giving any more life to the plant and is actually sucking the life away. So it needs to be taken off. Now, some people, so I'm just going to start cutting. Some people are really afraid of pruning too much. And if you're like very advanced in your gardening career, then yeah, that's something I would probably be concerned about too. But one of the things that I like is that as long as there is some green left on the plant, it is, and you're doing your best to take care of it, of course, it's going to come back to the way that it was. If you just give it a little bit of time and you saw kind of what you did that didn't work last time, it'll come back. And that's kind of how like life is sometimes, is we maybe say or do things in the moment that didn't work out well for us, especially if we're working with traumatized clients. We know that if they're not regulating very well, they can sometimes do or say things out of a reaction rather than a response that they may have wanted to give. And that is something that is okay. You can always go back and wait for things to grow. You just have to be patient with the people around you and with yourself, because we all are very much in it. And sometimes that will take a little bit longer than we might like. But if you just let them know that there is only growth from here, if they give themselves some patience, that can definitely be a comforting thought. Of course, that's, doesn't work 100% of the time. I'm not a complete optimist, but without that time, we do not grow, and without recognizing the places where we may have made a misstep or done some things we're not proud of, we don't grow. So that's a good thing to remind yourself of as you're kind of going through and reflecting on your day. On here I also see, I think, a little bit of a slime trail where something got on here. So maybe I'll find a little slug friend to keep me company. It's not my favorite kind to find, but I'll take what I can get on here. So yeah, I'm just pruning anything that looks really brown. I also might go through and some of the stuff that pokes out a little bit in a way that I don't like. So like some of this stuff over here, I don't necessarily want that hanging over the pot so much. So I'm just gonna see if I can trim some of this back. So instead of all these branches, maybe I'll get some more flowers next time. Or, yeah, this one's actually getting a little bit tall. That one's okay. So I'm just gonna snip that off right there. And what's gonna happen is there's gonna be 2 shoots that come out of this. And maybe I'll get some flowers. So I kind of have to, when I'm doing this, it's a very meticulous process, so it forces you to slow down and really look at the details of what you're doing. And then again, if you snip too much, that is okay. It will grow back. So see, there's a whole big, oops, I broke it off. There was a whole big stick over here that was dead and I didn't even notice it until I was really looking for it. Yeah, so that's basically what I do when I garden. So I will go ahead and finish trimming these up. But that is kind of my process for gardening. I hope that you guys see this as a cool thing to potentially use with clients someday. It can really, really help just calm and slow you down. And I'll put more about how that works in my written discussion. But I hope you guys have a great day and take care of yourself this week.